The crossing of the Atlas Mountains.
Yes, yes.
It's beautiful. Yeah, it's a little bit unfortunate that it was dark when we were at the other side of the mountains, as you said. Yeah, because there are all the green and the beautiful woods. Yeah, but I don't want to complain because I saw some atlas cedars. I really like those trees. Yeah.
What I've seen, really visibly, because as I mentioned in the beginning when I first arrived, there was this incredible spirit. I mean, it swept you away because they were defiant and they were confident and they felt like, the future was theirs and they were going to make things happen and the right was on their side. The failure of the international community to really push Morocco and to really identify it as the main obstacle to resolving the conflict, as agreed in '91 to hold a referendum, has been really lacking.
Be an interesting chapter in LNO2's mechanical history, won't it, really? So, she had a gearshift problem. She had a camshaft sensor problem. She had bubbles in the system problem. She's had a wheel fallen off. Starter motor cracked up on us. So now we got so-called limp mode. So 6 problems.
It's a bit hidden. He will show us if he can come with us.
Well,
You don't have to pay me, he said.
Shall I introduce myself for English people?
do.
Anyway,
Yes.
shall I start now?
Yeah.
My name is Abdel. I meet those nice people from England. I help them. They're going to Gambia and they're fixing their cars.
Yeah, remember that noise?
Gosh.
I'm a huge fan of Oasis, Liam Gallagher, Rolling Stones. I like every shit from the Stones, and I love England. You're welcome, English people. I'm fucking drunk. Show me to England.
You will
Then
be.
I love England.
You will be famous in England.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Is it so? Shall I trust you?
Well, shall I trust you?
Yeah, you have to trust me. I'm dead. That's it. I'm finished. My name is Abdel. It's okay?
Okay.
That's it.
That's it.
I think my duty is finished.
You finish. You're going.
Yeah, I'm going. And you can find me in Instagram.
I find you in Instagram.
And you can contact me via WhatsApp or something.
Okay.
Then you can send me that.
Comment tu t'appelles? Comment tu t'appelles? Hein? Angela. Angela. Je suis Angela. Là. Ah. Voilà.
Yes. Because the oil it's come out, so it made the engine broken.
He was rather sweet. He couldn't repair it, but we had a fun
He
time
he
there.
couldn't repair it, but he repaired it.
Yes.
This is the weird thing about
It's
it.
the magic touch
Yeah.
of Kamal.
Yeah.
No, it was good. I thought it was great.
No limp mode.
It's perfect.
Brought to you by makers of better things for better living through chemistry.
30, 40 years ago, the world could sustain less than 4 billion people. And the capability of introducing or putting phosphate into forms to apply to crops has allowed the world to sustain, upwards of 8 billion people today.
The farm, the mine, the forest, even the air and the sea were called upon to contribute basic raw materials in response to chemistry's never-ending study and continuing research to make ingredients for the spices needed for America's agricultural lands. Thus, chemistry has safeguarded forever a continuing supply of the vital compounds so essential to food crops throughout the land.
So not every country has access to phosphate, which then is something which probably speaks a little bit to the Moroccan situation. So you're sitting there with one of the 3 key nutrient components of growing anything. The scale of the extraction, the mining and the processing of these commodities is immense. And given their size, scale and control of resources, they can almost choose the price of the rock they sell, the price of the final products they sell, and almost choose the time where they say, okay, we're going to cut your rock supply or put the price up, so tens of millions of tons of it being mined and processed. It's phenomenal, the scale of it, which keeps the cost down, but it's done at such massive scale.
Morocco has benefited really from the status quo, hasn't it, over the last 30 years, the vast phosphate deposit.
There's now a lot of groups in Western Sahara that are struggling for different issues, and they're all tackling their area where they really directly have an interest, whether they're the
nuns. All I know of nuns, and nuns get mentioned in the context of shareholder meetings of certain companies. I don't know. All I know is the Moroccan rock is linked to protests, and protests by nuns. It's a funny little piece to it, because it's these nuns, and you say they're not even from Newfoundland, these nuns turn up, and they have had an influence, I guess.
Which was to arrest a shipment of phosphates from Western Sahara that were on their way to New Zealand.
So we don't want our investors seeing these nuns at our shareholder meeting.
It suits Morocco, I beg your pardon, to keep things as they are.
As long as they can do business as usual, they will pay lip service.
The history plays for Morocco's side.
That's as far as they go. They don't actually put any real pressure on to make it happen.
It does create ripples in the company, a talk of, more like a thorn in their side.
The United Nations has changed the language because they knew about who should resolve that problem. And
yeah, we don't want people seeing these nuns with some banners up.
There's no such occupying word that exists in the UN resolution. The referendum is a bygone plan.
Because it's all about resources. Even a child could figure that out.
In 1885, during the Berlin Conference, the major European states agreed upon the invasion and colonization of the African continent and the distribution of its lands among them. France, as one of those colonial powers, dominated most of North Africa except for the Western Sahara, which was gradually occupied by Spain to be officially a Spanish colony in 1958. However, since 1963, Western Sahara has been designated a non-self-governing territory. This decision by the United Nations led the indigenous Sahrawi people of Western Sahara to demand freedom and self-determination, leading to the Zamla Intifada in June 1970. This resulted in atrocities against the Sahrawi people by the Spanish. As a reaction against Spain's violent oppression, the Polisario, headed by Mustafa Syed, led the Sahrawi movement for liberation to wage a guerrilla war in May 1973. This caused Spain to withdraw from the territory after the Madrid Accord in October 1975, which legally ceded the Western Sahara to two neighboring countries, Morocco and Mauritania. While Spain kept a large proportion of the natural resources, the Polisario was left to wage its own war against the two occupiers. In 1979, Mauritania withdrew after a short annexation of the southern part of Western Sahara, and later on Mauritania officially recognized the Sahrawi Republic as a neighboring state. Morocco continued and extended its occupation of the Western Sahara, and consequently the Polisario and Morocco continued prosecuting war for a further 12 years. Eventually a ceasefire was signed to mark the end of the war between the Polisario and Morocco. For this reason, the UN mission for a referendum in Western Sahara, known as MINUSURO, was established in 1991 to oversee the ceasefire and implement the referendum. This has so far been obstructed by the ongoing Moroccan occupation. Currently, over 100,000 Sahrawi refugees live in the Algerian desert and are largely dependent on aid from the UN. They still await the referendum they have been promised.
You know, it's just like another normal day in some remote desert location, and you could go the entire week of your stay there and maybe not realize that they were in a struggle.
Après, c'est des gens qui sont vaillants parce qu'ils vivent dans des conditions assez extrêmes.
But as the occupied territory is really still a very inaccessible place to outsiders, especially to journalists, that story just has gotten very little coverage.
J'ai un avis partagé là-dessus. Je peux pas rejoindre. Il y a des gens, les Sahraouis, donc les gens du Sahara, eux veulent. Je pense qu'une minorité veut l'indépendance. Une minorité veut garder leur indépendance et tout.
The other thing about kind of meeting Sahrawi is that I can arrange contacts with you in Western Sahara to meet people.
There's now a lot of groups in Western Sahara under the occupation that are struggling for different issues, and they're all tackling their area where they really directly have an interest, whether they're the Sahrawis, you know, in the fishing industry, you know, because the fishing industry has been largely to the benefit of the Moroccans.
Why are you favouring this tribe, or why are you favouring that region? You know, and then you get into the politics of it. Yeah. It's difficult not to get embroiled in all of that.
Mais je pense que c'est pas la même idée sur la totalité des gens, car avant qu'ils soient annexés par le Maroc, il faut bien penser qu'il n'y avait pas de route, il n'y avait rien. Maintenant, il y a des routes, il y a
The argument for the government is, well, we want to build roads, we want to build schools, we want to build hospitals.
Il y a un système, il y a le téléphone. Avant, ça n'existait pas, c'était vraiment perdu. Je pense que c'est une transition. C'est un peu le même problème qu'ont les Français avec les Corses.
If nothing else, complicity, which is, I think, a much worse thing, because it has done so much to discredit the UN in the eyes of the Sahrawis. And I was there when the UN arrived in the beginning, and I mean, they were treated like heroes. They were like, they've come to really deliver what has been promised to us for years.
It's, at the end of the day, it's their choice, because they're the ones who potentially are going to suffer afterwards in terms of unwanted attention from the security services. You will probably be watched anyway, so if you then start to meet Sahrawis, there's a very high chance that will be seen. It's not going to go unacknowledged. And that could result in you getting thrown out before you've got very far.
Bonjour, monsieur.
Bonjour, monsieur.
C'est Lyon, ici? Lyon, oui. Merci. Bon. Ça va bien, bien. Stop. So, we are officially in Western Sahara. That means we've crossed the border. And there's quite a large military and police presence.
A little here before we leave with the plate. If you see anything, shout.
Okay, we'll let you know. We were supposed to meet our Sahrawi contact here at this cafe at 6 o'clock. It's 6:20. Unfortunately, we just found out through the messaging that we've been doing that they had to catch a bus from Laayoune. I was not expecting that. I had hoped that they had a car to get here. So it could be that they're going to be here much later. We want to get back to the campsite with a bit of daylight left so we can set up. I have sent him a message saying that where we are and if he wished to meet us there to come and find us.
Yeah.
Hello Mahmoud.
How are you?
Very well. How lovely to see you.
Nice to see you too. So, yeah, my friends.
Very
we
good.
can look for.
Well, we're staying at Neil Camping.
Neil.
Yeah, just right here.
I know.
You know, and it's inside a.
We can meet there.
You want to come over there?
Okay.
Yeah, you sure?
We can follow you.
Yeah, follow us.
Goodbye.
Okay, bye. Talk about timing. They seem quite nervous themselves, and with good reason. I think we are all very nervous. We are not out of the woods yet, even after we do the interview. We still have to cross the rest of Western Sahara.